So we're doing the follow-up now for the State of the Union thing, and let me get things fired up over here on the Facebook side of things. First observations I'm going to make, pretty much she touched on everything. Pelosi was exceptionally rude. Some of the people that were also in the hive mind of the Democrats, shall we say, were beyond rude. Like at some point, if you watch the video, you see her going, knock that off, stop. Like, essentially what it was is apparently somebody was in the crowd and they did something that was, well, so above board that even she was like, yeah, just stop, okay? No more. So let me get things going over here on the Facebook side of things, and wow, that was a good State of the Union speech. Touched on everything, very emotional, pulling people out of the crowd and whatnot. Now I'm gonna go through my timeline of stuff that I have on Facebook to keep myself, like, fresh, so I know what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to fire things up here, and I will be now bingity, bingity, bangity, boom. Let me just do the drinking thing. All right, folks, so we're now live. I do have my Samsung S2 tablet now recording, and of course, if you guys don't know how it works, I have my Samsung S5 camera phone recording, so there's going to be behind the scenes and a full update where you don't have the dropouts and all the other crap going on Facebook, where, it really is just not the best medium sometimes. There's a lot of dropouts on Facebook, so sometimes it's really, really annoying. Logan Ray, appreciate you coming on by, dude. So let me do a quick follow-up here, and like I said when I was firing things up on the Samsung S5, which is going to be posted up on YouTube as a follow-up video tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. It depends on what I got going on. I got to do some other stuff, and I got a doctor's stuff and all the crap going on this week. So I got stuff, okay? Behind the curtain, I have stuff. All right, so let me keep myself honest here. I do need to review and review yet again, the State of the Union speech. I don't know if there's other people that really are kind of like, this is their first time really tuning in for a State of the Union speech. Really what it is, it's kind of like the board executive of a corporation signing on, going, okay, let me give this state of affairs, and we'll be all, pulling people out of the audience and pulling people out and pointing them out for their, the especially amazing stuff that they do on a daily basis to make the company a better company. Yeah, it's very much like that. And if you want to know the truth, that is so far up, that is so far up Donald Trump alley. He doesn't even have to, worry about it, because his name is on the sign entrance to the alleyway, okay? This is the kind of stuff that he knows that he's just going to nail, okay? Jimmy, appreciate your light going on there. So anyway, way, shape, and form now, essentially, is what we find with ourselves, is we need to break down what the speech actually consisted of. Now, the actual runtime of the speech was roughly about an hour and a half, which is really... that's about average. About 90-minute State of the Union speech is pretty much about it. You've had some guys that have done longer ones. You've had other people that have done shorter ones. Of course, time immemorial, there is people that have been much, much shorter, because who wants to stand around and hear some guy just rattle on about stuff? They didn't have teleprompters back then. Of course, dude is looking down, reading a piece of paper, looking up and looking back at the crowd, and, of course, going back and forth with like that. So let me scroll up here and right off the bat. Now, I know, and everybody knows that Donald Trump was going to be receiving the award for the Medal of Freedom, I think it is, or something. Hang on a second here. I'm going to scroll up and get the actual proper thing. Hang on a second. Keep myself honest. The Medal of Freedom. Now, if you guys know anything about the military, the Medal of Honor is the highest medal that you can be awarded in the U.S. military. You have placed yourself in such a state of, oh no, he's going to get killed like 6 or 7 times. That's how you pretty much get a Medal of Honor. Most of the people that receive a Medal of Honor don't live to receive it. That's how that one works. So essentially, the Medal of Freedom is the highest presidential awarded to a United States citizen in the United States. Now, I am absolutely sure, correct, Logan, right? It is the Civilian Medal of Freedom, which is basically equivalent to, but not quite the same thing as the military's version of the Medal of Honor. It is the highest civilian awarded medal in the United States. It's actually even somewhat harder to obtain than even the Nobel Prize. So those guys that get the Nobel Prize for, inventing something that makes fleas fart backwards, and it's completely a different thing because it is something uniquely of us in the United States. That said, to see the reaction that Rush Limbaugh got was genuine. He was not expecting to get that award. He knew he was going to receive it. He did not understand that it was going to be an award that he was going to be receiving during the State of the Union speech, and most especially, I'm pretty sure, he didn't know that he was going to get it hung around his neck by Melania Trump. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to get something hung around your neck and it's not the president giving it to you, if it's the first lady giving it to you, you did pretty good, man. You did pretty good indeed. So anyway, Donald Trump was, of course, giving the speech, and he's way down. If you look at it, there's like multi-stacks of people, obviously in the upper tier, the upper galleries where Melania was, and some of the other notables, and the people that, Trump was picking out. And I'll go through the list of things, like, things that were happening. I'm going to go from pretty much the beginning of the speech and further on into pretty much its conclusion. Melania, of course, looks just yummy every time you see her. That's just, how it is. She's just an amazing looking female. And, if she's hanging out with Donald Trump, there's a reason why, man. It's because, he brings a lot to the table and she brings a lot to the table. They're definitely the power couple. And it was not an accident for you to see him wearing his usual, blue suit, white shirt, obviously, and a red tie. Red, white, and blue. Duh. Not hard to figure. But he usually keeps a red tie anyway because it's the power tie. I'm doing that air quote thing. He does the power tie. So scrolling up there, there was, of course, Melania sitting right next to Donald Trump. And, I'm sorry, Melania sitting right next to Rush Limbaugh. Sorry, brain fart there. Sitting right next to Rush Limbaugh and Rush Limbaugh's wife, Catherine Adams Limbaugh. You rarely see her in public. I believe from what they've said that she's got also health issues of her own. It's just been coming out very recently, and unfortunately for, pretty much anybody who's ever been associated with Limbaugh and also Limbaugh himself, he's been diagnosed with advanced, they have not said status, but they've said advanced lung cancer, and that's what he's passed on just a few days ago to his audience and crew and, all those hangers-on and all those guys basically know him. And everybody is pretty much praying for him and hoping he makes recovery. And, he's not the youngest guy, but I'll tell you what, he's definitely pumped. He's definitely stoked. And I'll tell you what, I hope I look as good at his age as what he currently looks now, being, sick and not quite the youngest guy on the planet. So anyway, scrolling up and looking at my, it's kind of doing a state of affairs thing. Pelosi was just, she was at her wit's end. Most of the time you saw her, she was just flipping the sheets and keeping time with, because she had the printed out version of the State of the Union speech. Now, whether she gets a advanced copy, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know if she gets an advanced copy or if that's the only time she sees it is when they go, okay, here you go, Miss Speaker. And they give her, the envelope full of, all the sheets of printed item for the State of the Union speech, which consists of 90 minutes of typing worth of speaking. It's not going to be just on one page. She was flipping pages and whatnot. And they did switch camera angles. Most of the time they were looking at Trump. They were looking straight on at him. And if you looked at it, pretty much it was a standard feed from the White House. So I guess if you were looking at like C-SPAN or, pick any of the alphabet soups of, any of the TV programs or any of the cable channels or any of the cable news networks. I'm not going to name them all off. There's too many. So anyway, any of those guys would basically have the feed from the White House. And there was what they call a frog. I don't know why they call it a frog, but over in the corner of the screen, there's like, the little symbol, and it says White House underneath. That was on the whole time. You look at any of my pictures, there was a picture of the little White House in stylized form, and it said WH.gov. So that's the official feed. That's what you're getting directly from the White House, which is pretty much how you want it. I don't want to watch something on C-SPAN with them doing all their little stupid crawl on the bottom. I don't want to watch it on CNN, MSNBC, any of those other stupid channels, because they always have what they call a frame. And that's literally like, the border around the program, and it has like Trump just said so and so and so and so. People think he's a freaking moron. You know, that's the kind of stupid stuff that you have to contend with. Okay, that's why I don't like watching it on anything. But I want the feed, and the thing about it is CNN, C-SPAN. C-SPAN used to be like that. They would just give you just boom raw footage, camera shooting the thing, and it would basically look like a wide box frame of what you're kind of looking at now, basically black border on top, black border on the bottom, and it was just a frame. You weren't seeing anything a lot special. And I know on YouTube, and you guys probably aren't the happiest about this, but I tend to shoot stuff on my camera phone in potato box, so narrow format. I don't shoot it wide. If I shot it wide, I would have, the panoramic view. It would be a wide screen. It would fill your computer monitor probably somewhat better, and it would look better. But I'm not going to do that, okay? Very simply put, for me to set my camera up and my setup on my desk, I literally have my tablet here. It's just low enough I can look over it, and I can look behind it, and there's my computer monitor directly behind my tablet. Off to my right, of course, is my standard setup with my camera phone doing everything it needs to do so I don't lose my place. Now, completely tangential there for a second, but the thing about it is Pelosi was like flipping through, and every once in a while you saw her flip a page, and the chompers were going. It almost looked like she was chewing bubble gum. It's like just. I think she's going to need a replacement pair of dentures. The way that she was like, and there was many times you saw her behind Donald Trump, off to the left of Pence, Michael Pence being the vice president of the United States. Off to the left of him, she was like, no, that's not the case. And she was mumbling something, and you couldn't really hear her, but you could see clearly what she was saying. And at one point, I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but at one point, somebody was like, I think Trump was talking about like the religious freedom, prayer in school, and I will always defend the Second Amendment. And you heard somebody, and I couldn't make sense of it. I'm sure the news guys will break out what it was, but obviously it was on the Democrat side of the aisle. The Republicans were off to Donald Trump's left because he was looking face on the audience. So the Republicans were off to his left. The Democrats are off to their right. The commies in white dresses were up in the higher up part. You couldn't miss them. There's like about 50 of them, 30, 40, 50, whatever. All the commies in white dresses, not happy. And of course, there was actually one point where they actually did stand and applaud him for him sticking up for Venezuela. That was kind of cool. I'll get into that more as I'm scrolling through here, but I don't want to make this video too terribly long. You guys already sat around for an hour and a half with somebody talking about stuff, so I don't want to make this video an hour and a half long. So, let me scroll, but Chops, I'm going to start referring to her now as Chops Pelosi, because the way she was working them chompers, she was beating them dentures up like nobody's business, and I don't see them having a very long lifespan at all. She kicked their butt. I'm sure she's probably spitting out like splinters of like busted teeth and whatnot. But she's going to go back to her office, and there's probably going to be at least a bottle or two of Grey Goose that are going to get pounded, and she'll be sauced in no time. She now has to like assuage her various body parts that are now afflicted. Voice came from the left, literally. Well, dude, if you think about, Logan Ray said if the voice came to the left, came from the left, quite literally. If you know your British history, the Tories and the House members of which they were the conservative, the old fuddy-duddy guys in the British House of Commons, they were on the right side of the room, literally the right side of the room, so they were on the right wing. The liberal side, read like the progressives, read like the guys who are tired of the British crown doing stuff the way they've done forever. The guys that actually did get booted out, get sent off to the United States because, we were rabble-rousers. We were the left wing. So the corruption therein of the phrase left wing and liberal has been by the socialist, communist, Democrats who have stolen the phrase and corrupted it, co-opted it, and made it their own because they are not liberals. Liberals are like the Jeffersonians. We're the guys that basically said, you know what? Your old way of running stuff sucks. We're going to set up a better country, and we're going to be free. Free of all these stupid things. We want to have freedom of religion, freedom of bang-bangs, freedom of all this good stuff. Get the heck out of our way. That was the liberal side of the left wing in the old British House. So, moving onward. So Chops Pelosi chewing the crap out of her dentures. That was actually funny to watch. It really was. So another point, like Trump is talking, I said, bored catching up on her reading, and she's just flipping pages and like scanning and, eyeballing and eagle-eyeing it, and it's like some of the facial expressions she was making, it's like, I forgot my contacts. Something like, almost like Popeye-ing. Her eyes are like huge. So anyway, the other one too is also, a lot of the statements that Trump was making, he was showing the error of previous administrations, showing the error of the other party, as it were. Making great statement then saying, like, the lack of growth was because of previous policies by previous administrations. These guys were holding things back. They were holding the brakes on the wheels of progress, and they were not allowing the United States to simply just flourish. And if you know anything about the way that politicians do anything, they are not the solution to a problem. They're a bad answer to a horrible question. They do not fix things. They make stuff worse. Big time. The white dresses were in full view, and I'm going to say maybe not 40 or 50, but there was at least, well, let's see here. Let me keep myself honest. Let's see here. I'm going to do a quick tally. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe about 30 of the white dresses, okay? Let's just say 30 of the white dresses, also known as the commies, the women commies in Congress. I'm just going to call them that now. The women commies in Congress dressed in their white dresses. And I forget if it was some kind of protest thing where they said, we're going to dress in white so we all stick out. Well, fine, dress in white, you all stick out. You look like a bunch of nuns. Or tabernacle chorus, that's what it is. So let's see. There was other scenes that you could watch and rewatch this whole thing, and Pelosi is just chewing like a horse on its bit in its mouth, was not happy with some of the stuff that Trump was saying. It was absolutely just unbelievably easy to observe. She was having a very, very nasty, hard time sitting there and was not happy at all. At one point, he was talking about, knocking out NAFTA and replacing it with the new Mexican-Canada type of treaty set up, and you could almost hear her screaming, "No!" And then he quoted the stats on NAFTA, and she was saying something in the background like, "No, it didn't." You could see her shaking her head and saying that. "No, it didn't." Literally, you could see her doing that. Like, she couldn't even hold it back to say, these policies that now you can't affect any longer and have now been knocked out by the next guy down the line, you cannot stop him from doing it. You threw everything you could at her. And basically, you gave her everything that she had. And then she had all this power, and she did everything she possibly could, and guess what? You got nothing out of it. You threw it over to the Senate, and the Senate is going, yeah, that's nice, but you guys did a really sucky job. We're not going to even gratify this one with further investigation. You don't get witnesses. I would tend to think sometime in the next week, like very, very soon, he's going to be, completely cleared of all this crap, and we won't have to worry about impeachment anymore. And if they do another impeachment, it's going to be bloody damn obvious to anybody who's looking at it for what it is. As a matter of fact, one of the things the Founding Fathers actually feared was one party taking on a president from another party and removing him just because of sour grapes and all the rest of this falderall. It's stuff that the Founding Fathers actually made the impeachment very hard to do. You need to actually have a great majority in the Senate to remove a sitting president, of which there's 53 Republicans, 47 Democrats. It ain't happening, dude. And of course, there's always that one thing people tend to forget about. If you look at the way the Senate is, if it goes 50-50, a lot of people don't know this. If it goes 50-50 and they can't find a deciding vote, the 51st vote goes to the vice president. He's technically the 101st senator, because there's 100 senators, 2 senators from every United States state. So there's 50 of one guy, 50 of another guy, 100 senators in total, with one vice president as a deciding vote. So anyway, scrolly. The one thing I thought was absolutely amazing and very, very unexpected was he had elected President Guido. Or it's Guaido, or what? I think it's Guaido actually in Spanish. I'm saying Guido like Italian, but it's Guaido in Spanish. And elected President Guaido from Venezuela, who has not been able to take seat because the military is like, pissing and moaning, and they won't let the new guy in, they won't let the old guy out. The old guy's a piece of crap that won't leave. The socialist dramas, further making Venezuela a total crap hole. If you guys know your history, Venezuela went socialist merely only about 20, not even 30 years ago, and it crashed and burned. Venezuela, before it crashed and burned, was the second richest nation in South America. Tons of cash. They were rich, rich. Not anymore. Now they're basically digging in garbage cans and eating their pets. That's socialism. But yeah, they actually had one part where Trump was going on about, President Guaido is an audience, we stand behind you, people of Venezuela, blah, 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 blah. And some of the white commies in white dressed, I'm going to change this around a little bit so we don't get misunderstood. White dressed commies in Congress actually stood up and was like, yeah, he's actually doing something that we like. Yeah, he's actually doing something that you like because, well, you're not looking at it for what it is. You guys are socialists, and he's saying socialism is bad. Ugh. Democrats. If they were smart, they'd actually be dangerous, but they are not smart. They are simply just regimented in the way they do stuff. That's why they've had success for about, 100 some odd years, but their methods are known now. They keep doing the same thing over and over. It's like the joke you tell the guy same time every day. Eventually he's going to get sick of hearing the joke because he knows the punchline. Bye. Done with it. Scrolling. I cannot tell you how cool it was to see Brigadier General Charles McGee standing, snapping one off for the President of the United States. That was cool. He's one of the last surviving, if not the last surviving, Tuskegee Airmen, who was one of the most amazing air groups in World War II. If you guys don't know what it was a black-only fighter group from, obviously, Tuskegee, and they were trained up and they were sent out to do the job because you couldn't have whites and blacks mixing it up back in those days. Well, if you look at the history of that fighting group, those guys were formidable and they did a hell of a lot of good work over in World War II. Look them up sometime. The Tuskegee Airmen were just phenomenal. And for this gentleman to be in uniform and standing there and snapping off a salute at the president, that's just cool. Well, the thing about it is he was a colonel. He was not a general. The thing about it is Donald Trump promoted him and presented him with his stars, thus making him from colonel to brigadier general, a one-star general. And I've met a one-star general a few times in my life, and it's always kind of cool. You got to remember one thing about generals, though, is generals having one star, they're still the guy that's working for the job. The guys that have too many stars, those are politicians, okay? They're no longer soldiers. They're politicians. So scrolly. The other one, too, is also the school choice thing that was going on. Chomps Pelosi was losing her cookies when Trump was picking out the mother and daughter that now had a chance to actually have school choice in Philadelphia, which is a hugely Democrat-run city. And by and large, school choice is one of those huge things that even the black community goes, you know what? The Republicans are doing it. The Democrats aren't. They don't like the fact that they won't do it because the Democrats are so beholden to the teachers' unions. That got Chomps moving around in her seat more than a little bit. She was like, no, school choice, don't like it. So she doesn't like it. But I thought it was really cool picking those people out, saying, look, you guys now have a golden opportunity to do stuff that you couldn't do it before because we're making it possible. White, black, or otherwise, if you want to put your kid in a different school and you think your school sucks, you should have that choice. And versus you having to pay a positive scintilla of funds for it, you should also be using the public funds that would normally be paying for your kid in public school to put them in a better school with school choice. The kid's still in school. If you're not going to public school and the school's being paid for, why are they still going to public school? Common sense. All right, so I didn't like that one. She didn't like that. Chomps Pelosi did not like that one at all. Going on, whatever anyone about Melania or anyone else about the commies in white dresses. This one I thought was really kind of cool. The medical stuff, of course, Medicare and Medicaid, and, obviously making sure the health care is available, obviously knocking out Obamacare because it was just a horrific piece of legislation, getting freedom for having ability to go and get, served by the doctor of which you so choose. Rhonda, appreciate you coming on by tonight, huh? Getting served by the doctor that you so choose. Wow, I think that the Democrats were losing their cookies when Donald Trump said, look, we need to get bipartisan, fair drug pricing laws. If you put that on my desk, I will sign it. The Dems started chanting something. Well, we don't like this. We don't like this. It's the other thing too is also these chant things that they tend to do. It looks weak. It looks like they're not willing to budge off their class envy thing. They're not willing to change up and try something different. They want to stick with the means, methods, and policies that they've always done. And possibly they really, truly cannot adapt to the situation at hand. That's just is how it is, okay? Scrolly. I cannot begin to tell you at about, like the... maybe about 30 minutes into the speech, there's the side view of Donald Trump. If you look at it, it's in my list of stuff that I put up there. There's a picture of Donald Trump hanging on the lectern. So obviously you don't stand on the lectern. You stand on the podium. The podium is what you stand on. The thing that you're resting on, you put your stuff on, the microphone is on, that is a lectern. That is not a podium. A podium is a raised dais at which you stand upon. The lectern is what you're talking at. So he's at the lectern, and you look over to beyond him, and there's this one Dem, and he's going, oh, I'm so bored. Oh, let me see what's on my Facebook. Pulls out his freaking phone, flips it open, and starts going boop beep boop boop beep beep boop 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 beep boop 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 beep beep boop boop boop. Dude, did you even consider that people are going to take that picture, screenshot it, put it on the internet, and hold it over your head for maybe I don't know, when you're trying to get reelected? Holy crap. And I do mean holy crap. Dude, how obtuse can you possibly be to go, yep, I'm holding the State of the Union address. I can just pull out my smartphone and beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, 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 boop, boop. Oh, what's going on Facebook? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got a message back from blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's so cool. No. There's some places you don't turn the phone on. What a mega doofus you are. And I will identify you. I will figure out who you are. You, sir, are a mega doofus. With today's technology, I can screenshot that, I can take that picture, I can put it on the internet, and I can go, who is this Democrat representative? I will find out who you are. I have a unique set of skills. I will find you. Just like in Taken, I have a very unique set of skills. I will find you. Scrolly. I cannot tell you how cool it was for, well, of all people who truly, absolutely, and has so deserved it for so long, Rush. You know what? Hey, let's do this correctly here. I want to know full name, and let's just do. I know what it is, but it's just not forebrain. So give me 1 second here, and I will find correct. Rush Hudson Limbaugh. That's who he is. Rush Hudson Limbaugh was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, man. That's just cool. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to sign this thing. Hate when that happens. In the middle of a show, nose says hi. All right, so Rush Hudson Limbaugh was receiver therein at the State of the Union speech of the Medal of Freedom. And who put it on him? Some notable? No, it was the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. Dude, how cool is that? You basically got the First Lady of the United States hanging a medal around your neck, and you get to turn around and see this hot girl in front of you, and you get to shake her hand. Dude, well played, sir. Well played, Mr. President. That was just very, very cool. And of course, there's the other part too. You see, obviously Rush is just blown away by the fact he actually received it at the State of the Union. I didn't think he was even expecting that to happen. If not, he's a very good actor. I think he was not expecting it to happen then. He obviously knew he was getting it because it's been all over the news for the last couple of days or so. But the best part is you see him get hung on there, he basically shakes Melania's hand, turns around, kisses Catherine, gives her a hug and whatnot, and it turns and looks back at the president and goes, you, badass, chest thump, couple fist pumps, and then gives him the thumb. It's Rush was definitely stoked, and I thought that was just exceedingly honest, unabashed, and just, dude to dude. Hey, man. Thanks, man. You did me a solid. You did me a proper, and I'm definitely paying full respect back. And I thought that was just badass. So I did screenshot that one picture where Trump Trump basically got in the middle, and of course Russia's like, yeah. So yeah, chest stump, fist pump, Rush Limbaugh, you are the man. I saw this one that was really heart-wrenching. You know, the gentleman that was up in the upper tier, obviously a Latino gentleman. His brother got killed by some obvious piece of crap, and the piece of crap that did it to him was obviously somebody who was under the auspices of being safe in a sanctuary city. And so the thing about it is Trump has proposed, and I'm like, dude, this is epic stuff. He proposed legislation to sue sanctuary cities for letting illegals be illegals, criminals be criminals, letting them loose to do their further tide of imminent terror they're in because they're a piece of crap. They're going to be consistently a piece of crap. So anyway, way, shape, and form, essentially now we find ourselves is if you can sue, and I do mean sue painfully, abusively, ow, 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 like, you know, not even like a finger in a boo-boo. We're talking like full arm up there, turn him into a hand puppet, gross expenditure of fiduciary amounts to the point where, you know, a sanctuary city goes bankrupt when they have enough people sue the crap out of them with, oh, I don't know, like mega law guys going, woohoo, we have a chance to cash in. You're going to see it not be so profitable or good or even a wonderful thing to be a sanctuary city trying to get votes from illegals in the first place. Because it's bad policy to begin with, okay? You're trying to protect your electorate. You're trying to protect those American citizens. If you don't give two craps, you shouldn't be in office, okay? Scroll. So yeah, the catch and release thing. Oh man, Pelosi was not happy about that one. There was denture grinding. I can almost hear the dentures going as Trump was speaking. She was, you know, the dentures were just grinding, man. She was not liking that at all. The whole thing about, like, you know, the Second Amendment thing, the dentures took a hit. There was one point, and I forget where the timestamp is, but there was one point where somebody was like, and they're answering something back about the gun stuff, and you see Pelosi like, yeah, and she literally was like, you, stop that, don't do that now. And she was knocking the guy off, but the horse was out of the barn, man, so that's already been out there, and she was on camera doing it, and I think now it's gotten to the point where the Dems are so past the point of self-control, they cannot even hold back any longer when it's charitable to just simply keep their mouths shut. That was blatantly obvious. The girl, I unfortunately, I'm sorry I didn't catch her name, but the girl that was actually a kidnapped person and was murdered by Baghdadi, the parents were there. There's a picture of them. There's a picture of her, and it's actually a pretty decent picture of them and the daughter. The daughter was obviously being held, being, you know, utilized for whatever sick purposes Baghdadi had. You know, they're sick puppies. So anyway, the Special Forces guys that were going to take down Baghdadi saw it as a unique and amazing, charitably respectful thing. The mission to get Baghdadi, they used her birthday of 8/14. So they named the mission to get Baghdadi with her birthday, Mission 8/14. And proceeded to go in there and, well, give him a whooping. So, rest in peace there, girl, and we're lessened by your absence. The one thing I did find funny, I usually find these kind of like, you know, moments, capsules of time, moments of, you know, just stuff that just kind of tickles me, and I post it in there. I cannot tell you how funny I see it is when the military guys, and I do read, like, the professional, you know, generals, like, they're all, like, 4- and 5-star guys, but they're all sitting there, and they're like, at attention, cannot move, cannot give any, you know, anything but blinking your eyes. There's nothing you can do. And most of them are sitting there, and they have their hands clasped like such. And they're all sitting there with the same basic military posture, just locked in, you know, watching the president, not giving any emotion whatsoever. Because if they do, here's the problem. Military guys have to be impartial. No matter what military guy it is, they have to be impartial with the civilian leaders. They cannot show a cause or effect or pro or con. They cannot choose sides for the military against the civilian leadership. They have to follow orders. So for them to be going, yeah, that was a good line, man, they can't do that. They can do it in their heads, but they really cannot show it openly, you know, at all. And if they do it, they get up on, charges under the UCMJ, which is the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is more laws that the military has to contend with. But yeah, that one picture, like, they're all sitting there like, I couldn't help myself. I had to do a screenshot and post it up there. Professional grumpy guys that cannot show a for or against in Trump's statements during the State of the Union speech. I just thought it was a hilarious picture. Further military stuff I thought was really cool. Sergeant First Class Williams, I guess he was like on the cusp of coming home for deployment, but Trump thought it'd be really cool. It was like, let's just get this boy home. So they brought the guy home. His wife was in attendance. The kids were there. And of course, they're like, well, why are we in the State of the Union speech? But, okay, we got picked. And then, of course, he comes walking down. It's like, hi, honey. And he's just like, standing there, and they're all like, huh? So that was really kind of cool. They usually do that. That is not unusual. Usually they'll bring a soldier home and make sure that they have some kind of, back and forth going on with, like, the family members going, oh, honey, you're here. So that's something they do all the time. It's nothing unusual. Scrolly. I think I've run out of stuff. But runtime on this speech was about 90 minutes. Like I said, that's not unusual. Trump did touch on a lot of subjects, and he did, tell you the truth, he didn't stick his finger in the eye of the Democrats quite as many times as he could have. Truthfully, if I was him, I would have been just roasting him. I would have been right out there, right off the bat, just walking up there, and like he did previously. I could not tell you what professional trolling this was, but there was a signing that he did. He signed the thing, and he signed the pen. And of course, the usual way that the president does any kind of document is he'll have a folder. He opens with the folder, he signs on a line, he gives the pen to somebody. Then he has another line, he signs, he gives the pen to the next person. Then he signs another line, gives that person another pen. So he goes through the thing, and there's like, pens that have been presented by the president after signing a document. They have some notoriety to them. Usually they'll say like the president's name on the side. Trump doesn't do that. Trump just pulls out a pen and goes, okay, cool. You want this pen? Fine, here. It's just a pen, all right? I'm not that impressed with it. But one of the signings he did very, very recently after this whole debacle with the impeachment thing and like Nancy Pelosi handing out these $15,000 worth of pens to everybody, Trump had a box of just normal writing pens. I mean, I'm talking like, like big pens, nothing crazy, just like normal markers, nothing really obscene, just $2 pens. He had a box of them, right? So he basically signs the document, hands that pen off to somebody, goes, oh, you want some? So he hands some pens off to somebody else. Oh, you guys want some too? And he's literally pulling out handfuls of pens and handing them out to all these people when probably he maybe spent like $30 in pens. He's just like, he's handing out pens to everybody. It was absolutely epic level trolling, and I cannot tell you how much it cracked me up to see him hoisting the petard of the Democrats yet again by using their stuff and taking it to the nth degree, because you know what? That's good humor. Anytime you can basically hoist somebody by their own petard and the behaviors that they've exploited, that's good stuff, okay? I mean, that's just good mimicry, good humor, and, well, you know what? If you're going to be pissed off about it, deal. You earned it. You did it to yourself. All right, folks, I'm going to break up with this one. I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know I'm doing an abbreviated version, but it's already late enough. I mean, it's already like 11 o'clock. You guys got stuff to do. I know there's other places to go, and, you got things to do. We've all been kept up late enough by this thing. So if you go to Around the Cabin, aroundthecabin.com, Around the Cabin Food, Around the Cabin News, Around the Cabin School Self-Reliance, Around the Cabin School, Around the Cabin Buy, Sell, and Trade, Around the Gardens Gate, and Around the Cabin Medicinal Cannabis. I truly appreciate it. You find me over on YouTube as 80s Podcast Channel. Find me on Twitter as 80spcc. You guys got many other things to do tonight, but you guys hung out with me. After hanging out with the president, you get 2 gold stars, okay? You get 2 gold stars for attendance tonight, okay? You were very, very good about coming by and checking me out afterwards. So you guys get 2 stars, okay? I'm going to break up with this one. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to break up with this one. Eat good, keep tendering as always. You know what, you love it. And stay tuned for more good stuff coming out tonight, because the president ain't done yet. 4 more years. 4 more years. Vote early, vote often, okay? It's the Chicago way. Catch you guys next week. See ya. All right, on that note, I think we're done over on the Facebook side, so I'm going to kill things off here on the YouTube side. I'm going to probably do some more introspective stuff about, you know, the speech and whatnot, and I might actually get a copy of the speech and break it down line by line, but 90-minute runtime, dude. Come on. That's going to be a lot of homework, and that's just going to be a lot of reading, and you guys don't want to sit around for a 4-hour video of me going, well, at this point, you know, Nancy Pelosi scratched her eye and was really chewing on her dentures. It gets noisome after a while. So I'm going to break up on this one, folks. Eat your kept turning rings. Always, you know what, you love it. And another video will be posting up on YouTube. Good stuff like that there. Catch you guys next week, and have a good one. See you guys.